conversation.
Hey, buddies.
Hey,
We're
what's up?
Welcome back. It's been a while. Merry Christmas, everybody. This
Yeah.
is the comeback. Jeff is in full Christmas mode. I wish I was, but I came unprepared.
Got my eggnog and my cinnamon. I did have a mic, but it was causing problems, so I don't have it anymore. But that's okay.
Sounds good. You're good.
And I got the only
chestnuts
Christmas.
roasted on an open fire back there.
I got the only decoration I need. My Turbo Man.
That's
There you
true.
go.
You're Christmassy too. I'm the only one missing out.
Mm.
We'll take it. So, welcome back to We Love Rock Operas. And guess what? We're actually doing a rock opera again for the first time in about 8 episodes. And we're coming back with a good one in the holiday spirit. We are doing Trans-Siberian Orchestra's The Ghost of Christmas Eve.
Yes.
You got the shirt. They're going to be local in a couple weeks, and I
know I'm working
that, and I'm thinking about going.
You should. I've been
After
literally to 14 concerts,
Have you?
but yes, I've seen that tour 14 times, and it's an amazing production. Just the singers, the song, the musicians, and just the show itself, like the pyrotechnics and everything, and lasers, and just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I kind of took a deep dive because I've never, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is something that has always been in my peripherals. A lot of people talk about them. I've heard them a lot, come up. I've dealt with everyone from like hardcore metalheads to guys that only listen to old country music, all go to their shows still. So like people from everywhere, somehow this, hits the spot for them. So I was like, all right, this is the time of the year to visit this, and let's check out who these guys are. And so I started with this album, and then I deep dove into the live performance they did back in 99, was it, or something like that?
That was the first year they toured, 99. So next year is going to be the 25 years.
Oh, that's crazy. And then I checked out some of their other live stuff, and it definitely looks, it's definitely, stage show-esque, like crazy stage show into you're almost watching like a Broadway play at the same time you're watching a concert. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know Jeff, longtime fan of Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yep.
As he said, 14 of their shows he's been to. Rob, this is your first delve into TSO as well, right?
Yes. Obviously everyone hears the Christmas Eve Sarajevo.
Yeah, Sarajevo. So
on the radio all the time.
Yeah. That was the biggest
I've
download.
heard of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. But first deep dive.
Excellent. So
and also keep in mind. Oh yeah.
No. Keep in mind what?
Oh yeah. Keep in mind from a few episodes back when we did the Sabotage album, members of Sabotage are in this group, and this was founded by the same people, the same person that founded Sabotage. So like John Oliva and Paul O'Neill and stuff like that. So
So this is a semi-sequel to the left of the Sabotage.
Well, yeah. But
yeah, pretty cool. This album starts off with track 1, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful."
Yep.
I think there's a slash in there as well.
Oh, Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night. Okay.
I think.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen. it muted again, so I guess we're just gonna keep going with this. And it wasn't the best clip to get into it, but we're a music podcast, so I wanted to hear some of their music up front. There's a lot of narration in this opening track, which gets you into the story, which I appreciate. So basically, it starts off with a girl running away from home, and she wanders into. Help me out, Jeff.
All right. So she wanders. So she's ran away from home. She wanders, and it's Christmas Eve, and midnight Christmas Eve, and she wanders into an abandoned theater, and the old caretaker, sees her, and then basically, when she goes into the theater part, she drops her in the actual DVD. When she goes to the stage area, she drops her book, and the caretaker picks it up, and he sees that she's run away from home, and she's trying to get back home to her parents. And there's a picture of her with her mom and dad, and so he's going to show her like what happens within the theater. Like there's ghosts that inhabit the theater. You know what? I probably should have just read the back of the DVD.
So in this first track, even without the DVD, even in this first track, it has the narration of this girl wandering into this.
Yeah, true.
Into this place, and he finds a journal, and it says, she wants to come. It was a note to her mother, correct?
Yeah.
About how she wants to come back home.
Right.
She's run away from home. She's held up in the night in this abandoned theater. To just, kind of get out of the cold. She's run away from home. Things aren't going good. It's a note just to her mother, but there is a picture of her and her father, correct? So
it's the three of them. Yeah.
Something had happened to her father since this note is just to the mother.
Well, no, it was technically to both of them. It's the three of them in the picture.
Three of them in the picture, but the note is just to the mother.
Oh.
Correct?
Not that I thought it was both of them.
Boy, I wish I had that clip right now then.
I just saw it last night. It's a dear mom and dad, and then she had something stretched off, and then it's yeah. It definitely, trust me. Just because at the end, I don't want. I'll.
All right. Yeah. I'll cut out me looking like an idiot. Don't worry. That was
that's all right. That's all right.
Right. So note to mom and dad that she had run away from home. But she does want to come home.
She just can't afford it.
So she spends the night in this theater and meets a caretaker.
Yeah. I do like the interesting twist, because in most stories, when you start with the runaway, it's you go through this journey, and then at the end they decide, things weren't that bad, I want to come home. And this is, we're starting at, no, I want to come home,
right?
I just can't right now,
right?
So I thought that was a nice take on it.
Yeah. And real quick, the old caretaker who finds her, he uses the ghosts and spirits that inhabit the long abandoned world to turn her life around. Yeah.
Throughout the night.
That's what throughout the night.
That's what we're going to be getting into. Something magical happens.
Yeah.
At the end of this song, and it leads to a ghost. Hence, the ghost of Christmas Eve, who will be there to play some music for her and sing her some songs. And that leads us into track 2, Good King Joy. And hopefully this plays a little bit better for us, huh?
What Christmas means.
Joy to the world.
So, Good King Joy, first of the spirits. And once again, this is the narrated version. But I am unsure of what the narration was in this part. I think it was that, she starts to see some joy in this first spirit, taken aback by the spirit at first, as anybody would be, but she also didn't feel scared or worried for her life. And she sits and enjoys with the caretaker this show and this song, Good King Joy.
Yeah. Actually on the album, it's also sung by Tony Gaynor, great singer. And it's similar to, it's got elements of Joy to the World in it. And is this it? I think so. I hope so. Yeah. So.
And this is our first actual vocals on the album as well. First song, besides the narration, was just orchestra. Nice introduction to the album. This is the first one where we have somebody singing, and the people singing in this album is, these ghosts of Christmas Eve singing to her.
You never have to worry about ghosts around Christmas. Like every other time,
to help. Yeah.
Every other time it's scary and they try and kill you, but whenever it's Christmas, they're always like, "Oh no, we're here to help."
Yeah,
it's therapy.
We're here to show you, what could be, how much joy there is to the world, how much better life is with you in it.
I know it's a carol, but every time I hear "Joy to the World," I'm thinking about Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. We're only on track 2, but I enjoyed this album. How it's not just straight, here's a Christmas song, we're doing it. Like they mix songs together, they rock the songs out.
They have their own arrangement to it, and then they have their own originals as well. So
definitely. And where I listen to this album, Good King Joy is one of the most listened to tracks on this whole album, actually. So people are a big fan of this track. Not my favorite track on the album. We'll get to that. My favorite track on the album is one of the least listened to on Amazon Music, just so you know, which I don't get. I enjoyed this album overall. This is a good song. It dumbfounded me that the one I loved was one of the most least listened to. Maybe because they have other places to listen to that track. I'm hoping, because it's a great song. This was a good song though. Good King Joy.
Yeah.
And we got, like I said, our first ghost, and she's not frightened or intimidated, but sits back with the caretaker and, watches and listens and takes everything in. And that leads us to track 3, Christmas Dreams.
For her child's mind could stray, another dream was sent her way.
Somewhere beyond where the light rarely goes, somewhere beyond where the dark barely breathes, somewhere this night where the dark only knows, she awaits ever patient. She awaits rarely seen, but her moments are taken, for in the dead of the night, gathering light, Christmas tree.
Song rocks.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ghost number 2, and he's here to rock her face off.
There is a world where Ghost number 2 is played by Meatloaf. Because this just screams Bat Out of Hell Christmas
That
edition.
would be sweet.
Yes. It's performed by a gentleman named Michael Lanning.
Okay.
And it was featured on their third album in the trilogy. But when this originally came out, it was basically this the first 2 of the trilogies into one, so to speak, into a whole new story. Because each album has their own story, and then this whole thing is a brand new story being told. That was because they wanted something for like made for TV, like PBS and stuff like that. So wherever they brought it out, and then they sold it on DVD and stuff.
So
but
track 3 on the original special was "Oh Come All You."
And the special was Hark the Herald Angels theme from Jewel.
Yes, sorry.
They had a special guest, Jewel. So she's not on any other of the CDs, but it's just for this special.
Right.
But I guess they obviously switched it up which I think they did the appropriate song because it's Christmas Dreams. The reason that the girl wasn't fighting these spirits or anything is because she thinks it's it's all a dream, so.
What I find
but the song.
Okay, so that goes back into track 2, and this solidifies why she's not scared of all these creatures showing up, or ghosts showing up, is because she thinks this could just be, a Christmas Eve dream.
Yeah. Bob, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say I don't know if it's in this narration or the last narration, but it describes her entering, and they make it a point to say, "Cast your mind back where once a kinetoscope stood," or something to the effect. Y'all know what a kinetoscope is? It's
that
a little
comes up soon.
That's coming up, but it's one of those machines where you put the money in and you like reel it, and the picture is moving.
Yeah.
You get the little horse galloping. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yep. Yep. So this is an old theater.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. And I thought it was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So once again, second ghost, she thinks is a dream, so she's not terrified of these ghosts showing up. And a really good song. Really good vocals, really rocking out Christmas music.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
It's not Meatloaf.
It screams Meatloaf. I know it's not. It's Michael, but I mean, come on.
I would love to have heard him do this song. Unfortunately, we never will.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
That brings us to track 4, Christmas Eve / do you want to take a crack at this word, Jeff?
Sarajevo.
Yep.
Sarajevo 1224.
Yeah.
So if you're not new to rock operas, you also know that I'm not a huge fan of music that doesn't have words. But at the same time, these are melodies that you know and love at Christmas time, and they rock them out to the fullest extent. And that's what made me love this album. Like, I didn't need I sat back and I was just like, it just brings you joy. Like, you're just happy listening to this because it's that Christmas music, that Christmas spirit. Like, you can't be miserable listening to this.
Right. And essentially what it is Carol of the Bells, for those that, obviously don't know, but you can tell if you hear it,
Right.
It's got that Carol of the Bells melody to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It takes you on this journey. Like, even if you don't know the backstory of why they made this arrangement and why it's called Sarajevo 1224, it's timeless. Like, listen to it the day it came out, listen to it now, and we're going on 25 years of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. But the backstory of it being they had heard about a violinist in Sarajevo who had come back to his village as an old man while they were at war with themselves. Like, there was a conflict in that country. And so he played violin every day in the rubble of his village, including Christmas carols. And so once you hear that backstory, the phonetic energy and just like the tension that's building up with Carol of the Bells,
right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that's the first time I heard the backstory. I love it.
And it was also originally, it was also originally a Sabotage song from their Dead Winter Dead album. That's where that's what the song originally played. Because that was about an album about like wartime and like Russia and stuff, I believe. And, yeah. So, yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Well, then it definitely fits that theme.
Yeah.
So, I mean, lovely little instrumental. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yep. And this was the song also where Bob was saying earlier when the caretaker brings the girl over to the kaleidoscope or whatever the word's called. I know it's not what it's called.
The kinetoscope.
I can't remember what it's. Kinetoscope, thank you. Yes.
Kaleidoscope doesn't show pictures, it just shows shapes and stuff.
I know.
I
saw pictures.
Now that I remember that kinetoscope is in the narration of this song, I am picturing like her being led to a kinetoscope and taking a look inside and seeing this musician in the middle of a war-torn like town, just one guitar on a pile of rubble, just rocking out while there's jet fighters and shit.
That would be amazing. That's
not
the direction
what's on this DVD.
She sees her childhood. And was it a kitten?
It wasn't actually her childhood. It was just another girl. It was just a little girl. It was another ghost, another spirit, basically.
Oh, I thought it was her as a child getting a kitten.
No, and then she shows. Then she appears
like
after
Christmas past.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
sweet
and wholesome, and that's sweet and wholesome, and I like my version.
The war torn, I mean, musically, the war torn thing would have looked badass if they went that way.
I did like the music video for this though, with the silhouettes and the flags and the time, the hourglass and all that stuff in the background, and it's pretty cool imaging and stuff. And just out the orchestra out in the snow playing, and the conduct. Yeah, So that was real cool imaging for those that seen the actual DVD. I know you can't really get that out of it. Yeah.
They definitely know how to use their imagery. Like they have some really cool looking stuff.
Yeah.
But that brings us to track 5, Christmas Canon. So why'd you say it like that, Jeff? Because this is one of my favorite melodies on the whole thing. Like, I love this melody.
It's a beautiful song. Yeah. It was a beautiful song. Then someone earlier in the group chat today said the real. Not naming names.
Okay. Okay.
It is not my fault that it.
That's right.
It sounds like they say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I know. No, that's not what it's. But anyways, yeah.
It's no.
It's the joy that he brings. Not, yeah. But I see this.
I had to watch it a few times before I heard why you sent it, and I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Because
the funny thing was
this melody.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful song, and so beautiful that it's basically it's canon in D. Was it minor, major, one of the two? The melody.
Yeah.
And my wife and I's wedding theme was like a Highland Christmas wedding because she was an Outlander and I really wanted just like a Christmas themed wedding. So I made her come down to this. I asked her to come down to this down the aisle to this of our wedding.
Nice.
And she did. So yeah, it's a really nice song. I really love the song. On the third album of the trilogy, The Lost Christmas Eve, they redo this in more of a rock version, Christmas Canon rock, they call it. And that's the version that you mainly hear on the tour with the female singers and stuff, because they don't have like a children's choir perform on the tour. So they always had the female singers perform this. And it's still also pretty good. I also like that version too a lot. But
I wonder how I like that, because I'm pretty fond of this version.
Yeah. It's still pretty good, both for so
nice. Very nice. Yeah. My wife came down the aisle to Lady Gaga. Just so everybody knows. That was the one thing I got to choose for our wedding was the music.
Yeah, I got to choose the waiting around for the ceremony to start music. So it was just a bunch of orchestral versions of My Chemical Romance.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Until someone came up to me and said, "Are you playing Cancer in the middle of your wedding?" I was like, "Hell
yeah. No.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
It's amazing."
Oh my God. That's awesome. I didn't play any orchestra music in mine. Mine was all sung. The waiting around music, the walking down the aisle music, the walking back rocked. And nobody captured it on film, and I was pissed. Because I put a lot of thought into it. And then we get our wedding video back, and they added their own music to it, and I was like, what the hell?
Oh no.
Yep.
It's like, did I say you could add your own music to
right
it? I don't think I did.
Right. I'm a perfectionist, so I was standing up there waiting for my wife, and when the DJ messed something up, I gave him a look. I'm like, I was so focused on the DJ getting my music right that it ruined it for me. But anyway, back to Christmas. We all had lovely weddings, but we're gonna keep going with this Christmas album.
Yep.
And that leads us into track 6. What Child Is This? Where we get some more vocals going here.
Yes.
Replacing tears with reborn years in hearts once dark and hollow. And could this be Christ the King, whose every breath the angels bring? Could this be the face of God, this child, the son I once carried?
Okay. More traditional Christmas song that we all know and love. Who was the vocals on this? I hate to ask, Jeff.
Okay, no, this is all right. The man's name is Mr. Rob Evan, and to me, he is like a vocal god. He is amazing. You just see him live, the things he can do, the way the passion and everything that he does in songs and on Broadway, and he was in Jekyll and Hyde once, and he was like Mr. Jekyll and Hyde. Amazing. I love this singer so much. Yes. And he has his own thing now outside of TSO. It's for Broadway. It's called Rotopia. And if you ever want to look that up one day. But yeah, the man can sing. I absolutely love this song and his other stuff that he's done with TSO. But as it pertains to this story, this was also just a replacement song from the original, which was A Holy Night. And the premise was the girl finds this old program or playbill, from a show long gone. And it was, from that, the spirit was of that, from that show, supposedly. But so this really doesn't have anything to do with the story other than that, per se. But this has plenty to do with the story for Lost Christmas Eve for that album, because that's the album it's from. So it's a key part in that story, not so much in this story, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, I hate to bring it down, but I was gonna say my least favorite vocals on this album.
Oh no! What? How dare you? Damn it. Oh man.
It might just be that I'm most familiar with this song, and so maybe his vocals are a little too harsh for what I'm used to on a song like this, which is it's very much the case, and it could just be that out of the entire, album, this is the song I'm most familiar with, and so, he's got a deep, gruff kind of voice, and so
you want to talk about Meatloaf?
It could be that. It could be just my familiarity with this song, and just think his.
I just see what you're saying.
We're not what I'm used to, what I picture for something like this. I would be interested in Jekyll and Hyde. The only time I've ever seen that is I bought a bootleg when Sebastian Bach was doing.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. My wife showed me a clip of that.
Yeah. That was a great show. So I would be interested in that. I could see his vocals for something like that and me being a fan of that big time.
Check out their Night Castle album too, because the two songs he has on there are the two longest songs on the album, and he really lets it go in there.
Nice.
Now, I know it's not on the actual album, but during the live tour of when they did Beethoven's Last Night, he played the part of Beethoven, and
Okay.
there's plenty of videos on YouTube from his performances there, and the songs to Beethoven's Last Night album and stuff on YouTube, and it's just phenomenal again. But to each their own, you know. So,
Well, we might find out, because spoilers, Beethoven's Last Night was the other album on our rock operas list to be covered. So
so hopefully that comes up soon. But
yeah,
you know, that'll be worth the wait.
Yeah. I'll freely admit with this song, because like Josh, I'm so familiar with just the song. Like, this is the one in the album my mind just kind of drifted away from the story. And, like, especially when it's like the son I carried, it's like, that would be a lot to be told. Hey, this kid that you just birthed is going to be God, basically. That would be a lot to handle. Like, and then by the time I was like, back to the song, it's over. So,
well, and like Jeff said, this was thrown in for this year's release of this album.
Right.
Yeah.
Where, so this is new to this album. So, I mean, it was still, the song was good. It just was probably my least favorite vocals on the album.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, knowing how big of a fan, but I would like to check out some more of his stuff in a different sense or setting kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that brings us to, are we
Rob's
good with
least favorite
what child
song.
is this? Rob's least favorite? This is my favorite. This is my favorite song on the album. This is my favorite song on the album.
Okay. Yes.
This is my favorite song on the album. I love these vocals. Track 7, Music Box Blues.
But the music box continues to turn. Candle in the window continues to burn. But I know they're just memories of Christmas past, girl. You and me. That old fireplace, that heavy room and warm embrace. And as we watched for Christmas ghosts, fire held those shadows close.
How the I don't want to curse on a Christmas episode. How is this? You hear those vocals?
Yes.
The vocals are not my problem. Like, the vocals are great.
Problem.
Blues song. This is great. My I shouldn't say problem. My issue with this is, to me personally, this takes me out of the story just a little bit. Like, out of all the rock that we've heard so far, this brand doesn't blend to me. This kind of hits a snag, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then we're talking about a music box and just how it goes round, and it's not a bad song. It's just my least favorite.
Right.
This is a song I'd add to my playlist, just normal everyday playlist. Like, it reminds me, because I've been to Memphis a couple times. It reminds me of the vocals I hear walking into the bars on Memphis, like the soul behind it. Like, I could rock out to this song. Well, not rock out. It's it's a soulful, like, slow song, but I could feel this song, and I would put this on my playlist.
By contrast, Josh, this song reminds me of when I walked up and down Bourbon Street at 2:00 in the afternoon, where there was no one there.
Yeah, well, You need to walk down Beale then.
So yeah, so unfortunately, I mean, yeah, that he's a great singer. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. That was Mr. Dale Pettiford is his name, and God, I can't remember when he passed away. He passed away maybe it was mid to late like 2000s, I think, when he passed away.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but great song. I would agree with Josh. My favorite song is yet to come though on this album, but also just again, well, actually in the story they just kind of just there's no narration in between this song. They just give it to us, like in the DVD and in the So I don't know what exactly this has to do with the story. You're right, I can see, but at the same time, there's a message in there, you know, that inside this night, it's not too late, that to change your life around. Essentially, is what I'm getting at. I'm thinking they're getting at. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
It seems like you could be stuck in a music box going round and round, but
right.
You can choose to get out of that.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I just think his voice is so soulful and like this song hit me.
Yeah, there was another song he does on the. So it must have been after 2004 because there was another song he does on the Last Christmas Eve album.
Yeah.
For the sake of our brother, which then turns into "O Come All Ye Faithful," and he really belts it out there. So,
ooh, I'll have to check that out.
So,
not Rob, but I will.
Yeah.
More power to you, bud. You can have my share. It's all good.
Rob has no soul. You heard it here.
I am ginger. True fact, I am ginger.
Oh, there we go. We should have known from the start of this song then. So another ghost with a message, Rob. But that leads us into track 8, Promises to Keep.
The most magical thing about this night, we will now reiterate, is no matter where you are in life, it never is too late.
Christmas time on a cold December morning, all is calm and the world is still asleep. Christmas lights that have been caught without warning gently glitter on stars to wish upon. All the world is at peace.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So that narration comes in and does kind of say, coming out of track 8 or track 7 into track 8, reiterating that it's never too late, no matter where you are in life.
Yeah. You still get right on track and stuff, and Christmas has its promises to keep, So. Yeah, and this is another, obviously the children choir one, but again, in the live shows they do just one female singer for this one, but it's usually still a pretty beautiful song.
Rendition, nice.
Yeah, rendition. That's what I meant. Yeah,
nice.
So,
yeah, really nice, gentle. Makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
They do a nice job of like rocking out, then going into the warm and fuzzy, then rocking out. Like it's a nice little roller coaster of different feelings throughout this.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've got nothing to add. I like the song. It puts me music box blues takes me out of it, and then this puts me right back into the story. So
Right,
you don't have to take one song down to lift another, Rob.
rising tide raises all boats unless you poke a hole through it.
All right, who's ready to rock out again?
Yeah.
We're gonna go into track 9 this Christmas Day.
More this day than any other day. Or is it only in our minds? And must it leave when you have gone away? It's different now. It's changed somehow. And now you're here to stay. She's coming home this Christmas Day.
She's coming home.
I'm always afraid to say this because of the last song I like so much, but this for legit is my favorite non-traditional like Christmas song ever. Like when I first heard this, ever since I first heard this song, and by who it's sung by, and just I really wish that he was still with. I mean, he's still with us today, but I'm saying I really wish he was still with the band today. And I don't know, they had a falling out or something. But Tommy Fleece just, nails this, and the message of the song, and just everything is just, why does Christmas have to only last, one day, like why can't like the meaning, like the kindness and everything last, 365 instead of one day, you know what I mean?
Who sings this?
Mr. Tommy Felice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other stuff has he done? Is he just TSO?
As far as yes, he's done just mostly TSO stuff. There was a side group of like former members of TSO that they formed as like a super group called Teens of Christmas. There's only one album out of them, and it's Christmas 365 days a year or whatever. So he's done stuff with that, and then other than that, I'm not 100% sure outside of TSO what he's done. But I know he was a part of the first the first two Christmas
albums
of the
Okay. Well, I hate to tell you this, Jeff, but
you didn't like it.
This is my other favorite song on the album, actually.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. I was gonna say, you son of a son of a nutcracker.
No, love this song exactly like you said. Like, great message. The vocals were awesome. Like, it goes from, the low, nice music, and then rocks out. Like, great song. And narrative wise, it's right there on Front Street. This girl has spent the night with all these ghosts, showing her the ways of the world and how things could be better. And you don't have to, just because you made this choice, you don't have to live with this choice. You can make another choice and turn things around. And she wakes up in the DVD there. She she falls asleep, wakes up, runs home, decides to make a new choice for herself, and it's only
because the caretaker provided her with money and a ticket to wherever home is, and
right.
So she helped him. He helped her along the way, but So
well, now I have to be the soulless ginger again. And unfortunately, this is my favorite song on the album. So I love it.
That's good.
Like we talked about how I got Meatloaf vibes from Christmas Dream. This it might just be me. I get Springsteen
Oh,
vibes.
I didn't hear that.
Could definitely hear that.
And having not seen the DVD, only going by this version of the album, the narration suggests that this is now from her dad's perspective.
Exactly. This is essentially her dad singing. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and like, oh, she can't get home. Like this whole album is her spending time with these ghosts because she physically can't get home. So this is the triumphant ending of the dad being like, "I'm coming to get you."
Yeah.
And I'm bringing you home. So, it's I love
Nice.
it. It's uplifting. It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's past midnight now too. It's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Yes, this song is absolutely fantastic. Love the message behind it, even without the narrative. Like you were saying, Jeff, why can't we keep joy and love and harmony year round instead of 1 out of 365 days a year? And the world would be better off if we could, But
it's like the second verse. It's like the second verse goes, so tell me Christmas, so we kind, more this day than any other day, or is it only in our minds? And must it leave when you have gone away? So it's like, exactly, And I knew that on memory because, like I said, it's my favorite non-traditional Christmas song.
It should be. I think it should be a traditional Christmas song. Like people should know this.
By non-traditional, I mean it's like an original Christmas. It's not like Deck the Halls or something like that.
Like
so.
But there's a lot of Christmas albums out there that some of my favorite bands have done, and it's all your old traditional. I would love to hear someone like throw this on one of their Christmas albums. Like, why stick to all the ones that have been done a million times? Like, this song should be covered and put on somebody's Christmas album.
Yes. But Josh, we need that 5th version of Blue Christmas to play after the 4th version of Blue Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the 400th version of the rapey Christmas song, "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Jesus.
How about we skip the drugging and raping Christmas song on one album and put something different on there, Yeah.
And can we lump "Let It Snow" with "Baby It's Cold Outside"? Because
"Let It Snow" is a little less rapey, but I can see
oh my God.
how it can be overdone.
So anyway, the girl's home now. It's a happy ending.
Sorry to take our Christmas episode into rapey town.
Oh Jesus! Ow, we gotta go. No. And essentially, the last song on this is just basically rolls through the credits for the DVD. But it's still a cool instrumental.
It's a great instrumental to take the album out for sure.
Yeah.
And let's hear it. Track 10, First Snow.
Cool thing about this is during the live show when this plays, and if you're in the first few rows, there's the snow machine, that comes down on you. Yeah. So
I think it's the perfect song to leave this album on because to me, I've been to a lot of musical stage productions, and it kind of sounds like something that would like end one of those shows, like either when the cast is coming out and all taking their final bows, or when you're leaving the theater. Like there's still music playing, and it sounds similar to something like that. Like it's the end of a stage production, which I think is fantastic.
Yes,
So.
it's a very mellow, like you guys said, credits roll. We're taking our final bows. This is the time the people in the back are like, okay, we can beat traffic if we just. It's great. It's a great show, guys. But
yeah, it sounds exactly like that. That's why I think great ending track. Gives nothing to the narrative, but doesn't need to. We've had the whole narrative, and it's thanks for coming to the show kind of thing, which I think is a great way to round it out.
yes.
So it's been a while, but we always have a question. Do you think this is a rock opera, concept album, or neither?
A rock opera.
Yeah,
Like we don't.
rock opera.
We didn't break it down lyrically like we usually do, but there was a narrative and a story to it. So
that's the thing. This is a re-release of this album with the narrative, and I wanted to do that on purpose because this has always been considered a rock opera. I don't know if I'd call it that without the narrative of this new version, because we wouldn't have any of that to go on. So I would think the original release of this album would be more concept album, but this new version, the 2023 release with the narrative, definitely pushes into rock opera for me.
True. I didn't see that. Now, being in the digital age also that we're in, when the original came out a few years back, when they put it out out there, I don't know if there was an actual CD release, because I have all the Christmas releases from them and stuff, and I don't remember having. Well, I might have seen this one, so I don't know if I saw this one in stores or not, to be honest with you. And usually in the notes, it would tell you the story. So unless you don't know the story, I guess you can. Yeah, it would be considered if you just listen to it and without knowing the story. Yeah, I can see what you're saying is it being a concept album, but with the story, it's more of that rock opera,
Right. No. And that's why I love. That's why I love that they released this in October of this year with the narrative.
Yeah,
because it does bring the whole story together, and I think it was a brilliant move on their part to release this.
yes.
Yeah.
So I had a great time with this. Wasn't sure when I decided to do a Christmas themed episode, and this is what I wanted to go with. Wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. I've heard about Trans-Siberian Orchestra along the way. Never had any, firsthand experience with them. But I do love Christmas music. That's for sure. I've already listened to it plenty of times when setting up my tree this year and everything like that. So I was kind of 50-50 going in. I knew I loved Christmas music, but I was like, I didn't even know they were singing, I didn't know what we were getting into, but I had a really good time with this. And a couple of these tracks, if not, the whole album, will be added to my Christmas rotation.
Yeah, and I highly suggest, because I think they've, and the Spotify discography, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's other narrative versions of their albums, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, but if I am, I suggest trying to get the actual physical copies of the CD just to know the stories of each album, as well.
Right.
You know, not just this story, because like I said, each album has their own story. This was just a made up story uh, put together with two albums combined just to make something new, but made for TV sort of thing. Like I said, when they first came out with the album, but concept that Paul O'Neill had created, you know. So
Yeah, that's what
But yeah,
makes this
yeah.
even more interesting to me is they had a couple Christmas albums and this became like a greatest hits album with its own story, which is wild and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we haven't been here for a while. You guys want to plug anything?
Well, I have the Power Chamber, the Power Rangers podcast on the Heyyy Buddy network. Getting ready for season 2, gathering stuff together. When I was reminded, there's a Christmas video, Alpha's Magical Christmas. So that'll be one thing we're going to take a look at real quick.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Yep. But
What?
yeah. In the meantime, I'm just, you're reigning, defending me WF World Champion on MEW Federation on YouTube. Enjoyed the newest video, which is 35 shipped, where I won this little beauty. So
Yep.
Jeff, I know you got stuff going on.
What don't I have going on? Jeez. All right. So we got Cooking with Jeffy on Facebook and Patreon. We got on YouTube at Jam, all capital, Productions Incorporated, INC. We have my Jeff's Life vlog series, and this is I'm in currently the middle of the final episode, I guess, for season 1, I guess, the 2023 season, and then start up, do it all again next year, but also come into 2024 for that series, for that channel, excuse me. I have a new series coming out called Jeff Collects, where I go over all my collections, whether big or small. It's my collections and my stories. And episode 1 will be all about all the concerts I've seen and going through all my concert tickets and programs and all that stuff. And if I got shirts from the concert or whatnot. So that should be a fun show. And I don't know when this episode will be airing, but currently, as of this recording, I'm in the middle of Jeffy's 12 Faves of Christmas podcast. I do a Christmas podcast that basically I list on the odd days, I list my 12 favorite Christmas topics of whatever I come up with, Christmas topics, and I list my 12 favorite things of those. And on the even days, I pick and choose my 12 favorite versions. I know we were making fun of it earlier, but there is a lot of great Christmas versions of different Christmas songs that I enjoy.
Oh, there are.
So I pick and choose my 12 favorite Christmas versions of a certain song and go through them. And then I have artist spotlight episodes as well, where I pick 12 Christmas songs from that one artist. So it's all fun, and that's available either. Unfortunately, that's only available on Spotify and Spotify for podcasters, formerly the Anchor app, because I can't figure out how to distribute it anywhere else. So that's
all
that.
Good.
Whew, I think that's everything. Yeah,
we mostly throw Spotify out there. So if I can make a suggestion, 2 Christmas albums, Jeff, that I thoroughly enjoy. One is, of course, if you're an avid fan of this show, you will know Butch Walker came out with a Christmas album. Oh. And then there is another band that he produced that it's really like a fun Christmas album, and that band is called Family Force 5. They're a Christian band from Atlanta, and really fun Christmas album. I would love to talk about some Christmas albums, actually. So maybe if I can find the time between now and Christmas, we might hit a little more Christmas stuff. But other than that, thanks for joining us again. It's been a long time. We promise it won't be this long again. Next episode of We Love Rock Operas is going to be the first episode of the albums that made us. We've done the songs that made us. Now we're doing complete albums, and we're starting with Rob. Rob, I gave you some time to think. Do you know what episode 1 is going to be?
Yes. After an hour and a half given of thought, I just realized this album just celebrated its 30th anniversary this year. So we are going to jump back to 1993. Kiss Alive 3.
Ooh. Alive 3.
The first live album I ever heard.
All right. That'll be fun. And then after that, we hop back to We Love Rock Operas. So welcome back, folks. The Wheel of Death.
Uncle Jimmy Jack's Wheel of Trauma.
This is the same thing.
Can you see the spin?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Turns out next episode will be Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Nice.
Let's remove that from our wheel. So there we go. Pink Floyd's The Wall. So there's our next 2 episodes. In January, you can look forward to Kiss Alive 3 and Pink Floyd's The Wall here on We Love Rock Operas. That will do it for our 2023. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yeah.
Are we having a conversation?